everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, around the world. This is Coast to Coast. What's up, gentlemen?
Hell. Pure hell.
I am a big fan of the Los Angeles Angels at the moment, as they have taken 5 in a row against the Dodgers.
Hell yes.
Screw both of your teams. Who cares? The Angels are coming up, and they could take over the top spot very soon.
I mean,
they play the Dodgers for the rest of the year.
Well,
they could possibly win the division.
Yeah, it sounds like the Angels, I guess, must be the Dodgers' damn kryptonite. Like right now, the Mariners are our kryptonite.
You know, it's funny, though, because they had Ohtani hit into a triple play, if I saw that right.
That is correct.
Pretty impressive.
In the 6th inning.
Anytime
and
you can
interestingly enough, that is the second triple play in the last, I think, week and a half. In the last 10 days. Yeah, the Phillies had a triple play just recently.
Okay.
Not an unassisted triple play. It wasn't like that.
Sure.
But
and I want to say that was like the 8th or 9th triple play in Angels history.
Yeah, the unassisted triple play that's a unicorn of its own. But I mean, a triple play in general is rare.
Right.
But yeah, the unassisted triple plays, those are exceedingly rare. I got to watch
really only. It's interesting because really only truly 3 players on a field could make that.
Yeah, second and shortstop are really the main two.
And third base. And third base could do it in a very unique way. Yep. Obviously, same type of situation where guy on second and third or, where liner, tag third, happened. The guy didn't even realize it was a liner and gets tagged out.
Yep.
But yes, first baseman cannot do it.
Nope.
Unless he goes running after the guy, unless it's something very weird, same thing with a pitcher or a catcher.
They could have done it when the shift was still allowed. First baseman could have in that scenario because he would have been playing far enough away from the bag. But
true.
But even then, odds are crazy low. Realistically, the only 2 players that have a real shot at it, although third has a small chance, it's short and second. Like they're the ones that are positioned in a way they can catch the liner, land on the bag, and tag a guy.
Correct. So in this case, it was the second baseman. It was I think it was a 4-3 triple play.
Yeah, he basically
caught the ball,
tapped the bag, slung it over.
Right. So I like that. I love it when the Dodgers lose.
Me too.
Padres are now tied with them. Like you guys are tied up atop the West. So the West is tied all the way around.
And you're actually in a pretty good spot right now too, Bo, because like right now your lineup, no offense, but it's a little bit softer. So you should be able to build a lead because we still got Boston. I think we got a couple of tough teams in there. So you could build up a little bit of a lead before we even see you guys in late September.
Hey, there's no offense taken. I told you this 9-game stretch was going to be their best chance to get it back in this thing before it started. I was like, oh yeah, we got some cupcakes coming up. I didn't expect them to play as well as they have been, right? I thought they were going to drop a couple of them.
And the best part about it is obviously you're on the road right now, so you're not going to win all these games, but you have the Orioles who stink out loud right at the moment.
Yep.
And then you have the Mets who are going into a swoon as all swoons can be, which is also awesome. And then you have the Phillies, which is a shame you're not going to be here for because I actually got some great seats for the 20th. We were going to sit right behind home plate, kind of.
Oh, that'd have been awesome. Yeah. Now, sadly, the finances.
Damn dog.
For real. I have said that a lot as of late, actually. She is great, but man, there's some times.
I just feel like a GoFundMe is in order here.
For real.
I mean, I think we could make a really good GoFundMe case on this.
That's right. Get me to Philly.
Hey, you know what? I think what we should do is you go out there on the highway, have your wife drop you off with a cardboard sign and a small little tote bag and a sign that just says trying to get to Philly so I can sit behind home plate.
No. See, what happens in Seattle is if all of a sudden you're dropped off on the highway, everybody thinks you're about to stop traffic.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, you're on the side of the road. I mean, you're not in.
Yeah, guess what? I don't know that I'd even trust that because somebody's going to hit him. Be like, no, we're not stopping traffic today.
Bring her along. Yeah, I don't think that would be a great scenario. She's still recovering from surgery, so that's not really an option.
Let me ask you this. There's one other way, Bo. I think you could do it in a very economical way. How do you feel about hopping trains?
I even know an engineer. Like I could even jump a train.
I think you could do it.
Yeah, train. A buddy of mine is actually.
What are we talking about here?
So, or BNSF.
Skeens got rocked. Y'all see that? Skeens got rocked yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Holy! I think he fanned. I want to say he fanned 8, but he gave up four runs.
Yeah, it was a home run towards the end that tied it up, and then they won it in 11. At least that's what I saw.
I saw the Astros got beat up.
Oh man! No. Beat up is one thing. You get beat up at school. You go home, maybe you get a black eye or two. Mom looks at you, pats you on the back, says, "Better luck next time." We got mauled. Like we are literally
Before yesterday, their run differential was 55.
Yeah.
Now
I think it's 43.
42.
42.
Yeah,
Close
no,
enough.
it was that was a beatdown. It was funny because I checked the standing this morning, and it's like, oh, okay, we're tied at the top. I was like, all right, so that means you guys lost. So I was like, all right, let me go check on that. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
you've been ugly.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing because it was. I think Spencer Arrigati was pitching that night, and he hasn't looked good since he's come back off the disabled list. He's gotten beaten up twice. This is the second time he's gotten beaten up. So I don't know. I don't know if he's just still rounding back into form and just hasn't quite gotten his groove yet. But Boston really let him know, yeah, Bubba, you don't have your groove right now.
That's right. It ain't it. You lost your closer for 15 days. What happened to him?
I still have not heard anything on Hader yet. All I know is it's a shoulder issue. They still got him listed as day to day.
Oh,
I don't know what's going on with him. I was hoping we'd find out by Friday.
14-0. I thought they won in the 11th. No, they had they won their 11th straight.
Oh,
yeah.
So yeah, it's different. But I mean, let's face it. They played the Nationals, who stink. The Braves, who stink.
Yeah.
The Mets, who are swooning, and now the Pirates,
who also
yeah, they stink. And so far, I've outscored them 21-1.
Wow.
Yeah, he gave up six hits, 4 runs over 4 with 2 walks.
They do have a 5-game set coming up with the Cubs.
That'll be good.
Yeah, doubleheader on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh man, they started out with a doubleheader?
Yeah, that Monday's the doubleheader.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way to do it. Just start it off. Hey, get there, start playing, and you get the 2 games done in the first one because it's a 4-game series, and now it's a 5-game series.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what because the schedule is really going to come down to that. Because right now,
that get-out game is definitely going to be a get-out game. Like that's going to probably be a beatdown. Like their guys aren't even going to leave the dugout. They'll be like, you know what? We're good.
But, it looks like Hader. They put Hader on the 15-day IL. So
yeah,
I don't really see.
The thing is
shoulder strain, bro.
It's always misleading when they say that, right? Yeah. Because it's a minimum of 15, right? So you're guaranteed to not have him that long, but there's nothing to say that he won't be out longer.
Hold on. And did he pitch yesterday?
No, Hader didn't pitch yesterday. He was day to day. Okert pitched.
So that actually gets backdated a couple days too now.
Yeah. So they get him on the IL with the shoulder strain. That was 18 hours ago.
15-day DL, which probably started 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Because you could backdate it to the last time he pitched.
Yeah, the move was retroactive to Monday. Comes after the left-hander reportedly shoulder discomfort before Monday's game against the Sox. So it was Monday retroed, shoulder strain. That's where he's at. So,
All right.
I guess they're getting more tests done. Says it's a punch in the gut, according to Spada. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about in your American League. Let's talk about teams bubble teams that may not make it.
Okay.
All right. We're going to start. The Mariners are tied with the Astros, so I'm going to leave them off the list because they have a 3-game lead in the wild card. So I'm going to take them off of this list.
Okay.
You have the Red Sox.
I mean, I'd have left them on it, but
well, I understand, but you guys are also tied for the division.
Yeah.
And so it's too hard to kind of say you guys both consider I can consider both of you guys bubble teams. But because it's not because you guys are both ahead of everybody else in the wild card, I'm going to leave you guys both off.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So you have the Red Sox, who are a game and a half up on the wild card at the moment.
They're also playing really good baseball.
So make it or don't make it.
I think the Sox make it. Like they've started to kind of turn the corner on some of the mistakes they were making, where I feel like the Yankees are gone the other way.
So the Yankees, who have won 2 straight now, are right now a game up in the wild card.
Okay.
Against Cleveland. Make it or don't?
They're gonna make it, but they shouldn't. like they're gonna find a way to get in just because it's the Yankees and they do that. But they're not playing good enough baseball that you think even if they got in, they'd do anything.
I don't think they make it, and I think it's the end of Aaron Boone.
That's entirely possible. Yeah. If they don't make it,
it's the end of Aaron Boone.
Right. Yeah, no question. Yeah.
The Cleveland Guardians, who are a game out of the wild card.
They seem like a team that's going to be a game out of the wild card.
Well, in retrospect, they are 8-2 in their last 10.
Yeah, no, they have played well over this last stretch, but if I remember right, they played bad teams, right?
Let's find out who they played. Well, they played the Mets and the White Sox.
Yeah.
And the Twins.
Yeah.
And then the Rockies before that.
Yeah, there we go.
So yeah. But now they're playing the Marlins and the Braves and the Diamondbacks and then the Rangers. So they
actually got quite a bit of bad ahead of them.
They got some fluff.
Okay, well, you know what? Maybe I feel a little different about that. I'd say there's a good shot.
Well, it's going to be the Yankees or the Guardians, and it's hard to tell which one's which. Same thing because the Red Sox fall into that mix as well. I think that you're really having a tough time between those 3 teams. The next team on the list is the Rangers. 3.5 games out of the wild card.
I wouldn't count the Rangers out. The Rangers are a team that if you let them hang around will be a problem.
Okay. Followed by the Royals, who are 4 games out.
I don't think they get there.
No, I don't think so either.
Also playing some halfway decent ball. They're literally at 500 right now. And then the last team that I'm going to put on this list, who are really, I think that they are already out, but because they are sweeping the Dodgers, I like it. The Los Angeles Angels, who are 6 games out of the wild card.
Yeah, the Angels aren't going to do anything. Like they have some streaks, but they don't play consistently enough.
Well, I think what's going to make it or going back to Texas, I think what's going to make it hard for Texas is the fact that after they get done with Arizona, they got to play Toronto. Then they get a kind of a small break with KC, and it's not a small break. It's only a half game ahead of KC, and then they got Cleveland right after that. So I got to imagine KC's fighting, Guardians are fighting, Toronto's wanting to keep the top spot. It's going to be really damn hard, Bo, I think, for Texas to try to get into that wild card. I mean, it's going to be damn hard.
No, I agree. They're just a team, if they're hanging around, can get on some streaks. And, you only have to get on one at the end, right? As long as you're still in it. But no, I tend to agree with you. I don't think they get in. You just don't like to see them hanging around.
If I had to predict this, I think it's going to be Boston, either Houston or Seattle, depending on which one gets the wild card, which one gets the division, and then I think it'll be Cleveland. I think those are the three. If that's just my guesstimation, I think those are the three wild cards.
Yeah, well, especially based on the next few series that the Guardians have, because I mean those are not good teams. They're going to go play, so that's going to help them out a lot. So that could have New York on the outside looking in. I still tend to agree with Joe. It just seems like, the Yankees always find a way to, sneak in there. But if there was a year they were going to miss, as bad as they're playing fundamental baseball, this seems like it would be that year, right? I mean, they've committed so many errors in the last month. It's unreal. Like they probably have more errors in the last month than most teams have all year.
It's weird because like the Boston and the Yankees, their run differentials are stupid, 96 and 93, and then you got Cleveland right at like negative 18.
Yeah, it's funny
weird
because run differential doesn't mean a lot because
unless you're playing a bunch of weak teams and you're just scoring a lot of points on them.
Well, either that or it's the other way around where you guys lost a game, but say you're normally winning, by a run or two, and then you drop that game 14 to 1, right? So
I get that.
You'd potentially have a negative run differential, even though say you won 3 of your last 4, right? So run differential doesn't always mean wins. Now, when you look at it over the course of a year and you're like, oh yeah, somehow we're in the wild card spot and you got a negative run differential. It's like, okay, well, you guys need to figure out how to manufacture more runs. But at the same time, it doesn't really tell you what a record will be.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, how you can manipulate that, like you said, with the blowouts, how that can manipulate that. That's a good point.
Think of how many times the Yankees have had a day where they're just launching balls in the stands. And then the next day they don't do anything and they lose. It's like, okay, well, you got a positive run differential because you just beat them up last night, but you lost today. You're still 500.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I get that.
All right. Now the other side. The Mets that are right now 2 games up on the wild card, but have won 2 of their last 10.
I have a hard time ever believing in the Mets. So I feel like they could be leading their division by 10. And I'd be like, I bet they missed the playoffs. Like, I don't know. There's just that I don't know. I just never believe in. Moose, happy birthday to your wife.
Then how about the Reds?
Where are they at?
2 games out of the wild card.
2 games out. Who do they have coming up?
Well, they're playing the Phillies at the moment.
Okay.
And then they have the Brewers. What's a tough one? And then at the Angels, at the Diamondbacks, at the Dodgers. Ooh, that's a tough one.
I'm gonna go with no. That sounds like they collect quite a few losses through there.
Jeez, that whole thing is horrible because then you got the St. Louis and then you got Toronto. But they do get another 3 stint with the Mets.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's a rough go.
Even the Angels is inconsistent as they play. They're a stumbling block for you, right? Yeah. Like the Angels aren't going to do anything, but they'll still mess your day up.
All right, and then you have
Man,
the
if that's
last
not
really on
hey,
this
if
list.
that's not bad enough, then it's
What's that?
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say that they got Chicago and the Brewers to end all of it before you even hit it. I mean, that's crazy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, they're gonna miss. They're gonna miss.
The Cardinals, which are 4 games out, and then I got to roll because I got to roll.
Sounds good.
So, but yeah, they have the Rockies, the Yankees, the Marlins, and the Rays, followed by the Pirates afterwards.
I'm gonna go with they don't make it.
That means the Mets are in.
Weird.
FTM. All right, guys. I'll see you
All
tomorrow.
You know what? Take it easy.
Hey, real quick, Moose, I do hope that her birthday is a bittersweet day for you. Sweet that it's her birthday, but bitter because hopefully the Cowboys can pull off a win. That I'm just saying. Hopefully it can be bittersweet.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna happen, though,
Yeah,
Moose.
it's not
If
gonna
I was a
happen.
betting man, I'm thinking you're gonna have an amazing birthday. To be honest with you, if I was a betting man.
That yeah, I wouldn't be betting the Cowboys win that. I'm not even betting you have all your players by then.
Bro, you know what I'm saying? You know, and what's really crazy, I know you saw this in the news. So, and I didn't realize Jerry has been battling stage 4 skin cancer. I didn't realize that. I mean, the dude's been battling what for 10 years? Now he comes out of the documentary saying he beat it. I'm like, wow. I didn't realize he had stage 4 cancer.
Saw that article this morning. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, crazy they kept it under wraps this long.
Yeah, Moose. Again, I'm. That's why I said I think she's gonna have a fantastic birthday. I don't think that's gonna be an issue. But going back to Jerry real quick, the man's 82.
Yep.
Which means so means he contracted cancer at 72. That means what I really believe this 100% that if you have enough money in this world, stage 4 doesn't have to be stage 4. I think you can beat damn near stage 4. If you have enough money, I think you can beat it, Bo.
Yeah, so it depends on how it progresses, right? Like if it's stage 4 and it's in and it hasn't branched out, I agree. Soon as it starts attaching to other organs, and then it's a wrap.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, if it metastases like that, you're absolutely correct. But I just think, but it does give me hope that we are definitely advancing in medical technology, and hopefully we will get a point where we can eradicate cancer. That would be a beautiful day in the world. But wow, man, 82 years old. I mean, like literally, like because when I think about it, it's like when I'm thinking to myself, Bo, is you're looking at a man at 72. That means he's elderly, senior, whatever you want to call it. Which tells me your immune system should be, kind of going down the pooper. And the fact that you get stage 4 at 72 and you can come back and beat it, I mean, even though it hasn't, that's just, I don't know. Well, I'm trying to think that Jerry Jones may live to 100. If his immune system or whatever can get past stage 4 at 72, I'm starting to think he's going to live to 100. And that's really, that means I've got 18 more years of depression. 18, which that means by the time he leaves our earth, and I'm sure by that time I'll be in my damn near 70s. It will be a rough day. That means I've got 18 more years of depression, Bill.
I mean, you'll have a random 12-win team in there.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
You might even accidentally win a playoff game, but that's it.
Oh wow. That actually gives me a little bit of hope that I could actually win a playoff game because I haven't seen that in a hot minute.
It's been a while. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess since we're talking about football, we did get to see some of the first action out of Jalen Milroe, our rookie here in Seattle, and honestly, he really landed in the best possible scenario, right? So you have your veteran in Darnold, who's going to get the start. He's got a 3-year contract. You have Drew Lock, who's a seasoned backup. He's shown that he can come in and win games. And so then you have Milroe, who gets to do what, quarterbacks used to get to do, which is come in and learn and sit, get maybe some garbage time reps, whatever. But the biggest thing there is he gets to come in and refine his game without having to come play hero ball from the jump, right? And so that is really encouraging. I wasn't big on Milroe. I got to see him firsthand down in, at the Senior Bowl. Wasn't super impressed overall, but he has the tools to be good. He needed more reps. He needed more time, and he landed at a franchise where he's going to get that. It's not like the Seahawks were in a position where they're like, oh, we drafted a guy and he has to start today. He easily has a year or two before he's in any danger of needing to start. And honestly, I think with his development, that's exactly what he needs. So I like seeing that, when guys need to develop, actually having the opportunity to.
Right. And it's good. And it's good that, like you said, I think he's in a good spot. Like you said, I mean, when he played his first preseason game, he looked pretty good. He didn't go out there and poop the bed or anything. So that kind of gives me there's a baseline. I think there's a baseline with Milroe you can work from. The only downside to it is it's not like Sam Darnold has like tons of starting experience, right? I mean, he's got a little bit with Carolina, a little bit with New York, but I mean, successful starting experience. I mean, it's kind of been kind of rough go of. Even Locke has had a rough go of it. So I don't know how much experience level they're going to be able to give him. I guess Sam Darnold does have a little bit of playoff experience with Minnesota, so that might be invaluable.
No. I mean, Darnold is a good player. He's shown you that he has to be protected. So anytime he's had a bad offensive line,
right,
he's been bad, right? Like he's not that guy that can manipulate a bad offensive line to still play well, right? He's just not that dude. He is a guy that needs his offensive line to hold up because that little bit of action that he got in San Fran looked good. When his line was okay in Carolina, he looked decent, right? Obviously had a good offensive line with the Vikings. This is a much improved offensive line for Seattle. So, hopefully he gets the protection he needs to play well, right?
Right.
You have Drew Lock, second time here. He's shown that he can come in and win games when he needs to. Too bad Pags is gone because he got to witness it firsthand. In fact, his defense made him look like, Joe Montana for that game. So, but, because he has two guys that are pretty solid in their roles ahead of him, he doesn't have to elevate faster than his game progresses. And, that's just something that's been missing from the NFL in general is player development.
And I was about to say, because you guys brought in Mike McDonald a little while ago, and he did really well with Geno. I mean, obviously Geno resurrected his career in Seattle before he moved on to Vegas. Sure. So that does tell me that you guys do have some developmental abilities over there, and that's really what Milroe is going to need. Coming out of Alabama, is he's going to need those developmental things to really set him apart.
So no, that was not entirely true. Most of the year, they actually had a pretty solid offensive line. They had some guys get hurt. And then that's where the win rate dropped way off. That being said, when those protections broke down, you saw them lose, right? The two teams that did it, horribly were the Rams and Detroit. They both did it twice. So, I mean, but yeah, no, they did ultimately have a bad line, but it wasn't for the entire year like people try to make it sound. Who will have the worst record this year? I feel like it's either going to be the Saints or the Titans. I think the Giants probably win a game that they shouldn't, right? I think the Jets kind of do something similar, right? Like I think they're going to be in that bottom six, probably 6 or 7. But the Saints sure look like they just don't have anything worked out. they really seem like they're probably going to have the worst record of the league.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what Kellen Moore is able to do with this Saints team. I mean, obviously, since he started out with Dallas, I mean, our offense was okay, but I felt like sometimes Kellen Moore's off. And I don't know if this is all Kellen Moore. Maybe the head coach didn't always go with what Kellen Moore was doing, but I always felt like the Cowboys offense was stagnant. It was very predictable. We didn't do a lot of motion. I didn't really like it when he was here, but I don't know if that was necessarily all his fault, because then he goes on to the Chargers and starts to show some success. But then I think, you see him go to Philly, where I think he really kind of shows out in Philly. And I think ultimately that's why he got the job. So,
I mean, I don't know why people hated on him so much when he was with the Chargers, because all that team did until everybody got hurt was put up like 38 points.
Yeah.
Every week. Right. I mean, yeah, they didn't win because their defense was terrible and game management was terrible because of Staley. But I mean, their offense was putting up points and yards. And I mean, once once Herbert got hurt, obviously they weren't doing that anymore. But I mean, show me an offense that does when your starter goes down. So I thought he was unnecessarily thrown under the bus in that scenario. Not that I think he's a great coach necessarily, but I don't know how much more they wanted him to do. He didn't coach the defense, and he didn't coach clock management. Right. So, I felt like he did a pretty good job there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he can do with the Saints. I feel like he's going to have a pretty long leash there for no other reason than there's just no dudes on that roster.
Yeah. Yeah. And the biggest thing which really kind of goes back to Dallas's, really goes back to, I think a lot of the biggest problems wasn't Kellen Moore in Dallas. I think the biggest problem was just their head coaches, obviously Jerry Jones, the ultimate problem. But I think once Kellen Moore left Dallas, his philosophy on offense and with the Chargers and with the Eagles was much different than it was with the Cowboys, which now I'm starting to think how much of his play calling got nixed in favor of what the head coach or Jerry wanted. You know what I mean? And that makes me think how much more worse the Cowboys really are based off of that. I mean, it's crazy.
That's tough to say because you're also talking about early on as a coordinator, right? Right. So, I mean, he may not have been as good as he was at his next couple of stops. Think about just any time you were in your career, your early versus late, right? In theory, you get better as you go, right?
Right. Well, that's true. I mean, you're right.
And don't get me wrong, he hasn't been the head coach. So I would imagine he's going to fumble the bag in time management spots and, stuff like that. Obviously, he got to witness some mismanagement of those game time situations with Staley. But then, in theory, got to watch some good stuff with the Eagles. So I expect there to be some growing pains, but more than anything, I think he's going to get a lot of leeway for no other reason than it's a team that just isn't well constructed.
Right. I'm just really curious for me to see what type of culture he instills in New Orleans and what the discipline looks like, that he instills. Because, and I say a lot because I know the Eagles have a really good discipline system over there. Yeah. I don't really know too much about the Chargers and their discipline, but I know the Cowboys we've always lacked, ever since Wade Phillips left the Cowboys, discipline's gone out the window. So I'm curious to see what his style of discipline looks like with the Saints and what his culture looks like with the Saints, especially coming from a moderate winning culture in Dallas, not great, but moderate, to really good winning culture, obviously in the playoffs and what the Eagles have done. So he's seen different cultures with different head coaches. And I'm really curious to see what his culture is going to be like with his first stint with New Orleans. That's going to be interesting to watch and see.
Yeah, no. I mean, I agree. The chat is funny, right? So,
as long as Brad's not in there, I think we're okay.
Yeah,
he's a pot stirrer, that Brad.
I figure I'll throw these up between Moose and Joe, just because it's funny. I don't have a horse in the race for either one of these teams, but Chris is saying you can't count injuries because they were talking about Dak missing time, right? But this is where saying this doesn't help your cause, Joe, because that first Super Bowl they won was with a backup quarterback. So, now I realize Hurts wasn't their starter, but if you remember on that year, Carson Wentz was being talked about for the league MVP until he got hurt.
Right.
So he goes down. They still win. I mean, so you can say it like that, but teams have won with a backup, specifically the team you're trying to call out.
Yeah. And that really, I think for the Eagles, that really came down to that. Like I said, they have a good culture over there. They have a good winning culture over there. They got a good play calling over there. Dallas just doesn't have a lot of that.
Yeah. Respectful with everybody except Brad. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That's fair. Brad's a pot stirrer.
Yep, there it is. Nick Foles.
But I will say this. I mean, it's weird seeing Cooper Rush in a Ravens uniform. He's been with Dallas for so long. So when I saw him in preseason with the Ravens uniform on, that was a weird feeling.
It's on Pag's Facebook. I always bring the stuff that's funny. I try to keep the name calling off the screen.
He said, "What lobby is on that?"
Yeah. So you're right. Like there is an interesting dynamic with Dallas right now, and the Jerry Jones aspect of it obviously doesn't help. So
I was really hoping that Micah Parsons would be that leader in the locker room, but obviously he may be on the trade block or something. So we may actually lose the one guy that I felt like could be the potential leader for that team.
Yeah.
So good going, Jerry. Glad you're well, glad you're alive, but I hate you.
This definitely isn't happening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's realistically, I do think the Eagles have the best shot at it just because he was an Eagles fan as a kid and all that. So I don't see the Hawks doing this largely in part. I don't think they could actually afford him. So
I gotta tell you, look at that, Scott. Since we're talking Parsons, there's a couple of things of interest to me. One is I don't think they let him walk. I think what's going to happen either A, he's going to get traded, or B, they're going to franchise him. I think that's one of the two scenarios. And what I was really hoping would happen up until he signed, obviously James Cook signed his 4-year, $48 million contract. What I was hoping might happen was if you're going to trade him, it would have been nice to maybe go trade for a James Cook because we really need a running back. The guys we got in there, it's a committee of craziness. Don't really know what we have yet.
Sure.
So I would have liked to have had a James Cook and then maybe 2 or 3 first rounders if they're savvy enough to swing it, right? That would have been, to me, a pretty good trade. 2 to 3 first rounders, James Cook. I could live with that, right? Well, but then he signed, so that is what it is.
Yeah, he might be signed. We'll see. I think it would be. Where is it? Here you go. So, they're not going to let him walk. So what they might let him play the season out. And I tend to agree with Joe that it'll be signed before the first game, but maybe not. That being said, they're not going to let him walk. What realistically, if they let him play out the contract, they'll do the conditional tag, let him hit the market. If they don't want to match it, then they get 2 number 1s. So if you were to do it, that's the way I would do it. I'd do a conditional tag. So if somebody does offer him the money, I get number 1s, or you have the option to match the offer. So if you were going to go that route, that being said, you're going to have a pretty angry guy through the course of the season. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you really want to play with fire that way, but if you did, and not to say that Jerry wouldn't do it, then you do the conditional tag. Yeah,
I didn't hear him say
playing
anything
the
about
all
that.
about me. What are you talking about? It's Jerry Jones. That's the only guy he thinks about.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, that's a very obvious. Yeah, definitely.
So you're not entirely wrong there, Moose, but you don't really have to worry about Michael Parsons sucking.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. There's a lot of people out there that believe he's going to break the single sack record. He's going to be the new sack king. There's a lot of I've seen that out there. Not, speculation, but there's
exactly.
A lot
Jerry thinks about Jerry. What's happening, Bobby? Hey, if you're hanging out for a minute, we do have some Shador action that I want your input on since you're here. Bobby is a Browns fan. So,
real quick, what did you think? Like I said a minute ago, James Cook signed 4 years, $48 million. That's 12 years. That's $12 million a year. The average or the cap for running backs, what I saw on the pay scale was $10 million at best. And we know that Jonathan Taylor signed for above that, but he's an exceptional running back. Do you think that he was worth $12 million, James Cook, a year?
I mean, I feel like running backs are so undervalued right now.
Right.
That, yeah. Right? I mean, you're giving receivers $30-40 million. You're giving defensive ends. I mean, you have kickers making running back money. That is wild to me. So
it is wild.
So yeah, I think he's worth it. I think of how many offenses hinge on a running back, and they're trying not to pay these guys in a position that has the shortest lifespan in the league. Yeah, reward the guys when they're playing well, right? So I'm not mad at it. I like to see a resurgence at the pay scale for running backs because it's such a high value position that for some reason the money isn't valuing. So it's a trend that I think has been ridiculous over the last 5 years. And I mean, actually longer than that, I guess. It really kicked off with your guy Zeke, though.
Right.
Like, he was the last one to get that big contract to just like really underperform on it. And
way underperform.
I mean, the only guy that got big money after that was CMC. And that was because his style of play is so different.
So that's what I'm saying. So for a long period of time, like I said, on the last pay chart that I saw, running backs were at 10 million. So that was their whatever. But now, do you think now that James Cook got the 12, Taylor got the 10 or 11, do you think now that's going to be the new trend in running backs? We're going to start seeing those bigger contracts now?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call 12 million a bigger contract.
No, but for that position, it is.
No,
if you look at the last 10 years, it is.
And that's terrible. That's terrible. So I do expect it to continue to increase as you see guys, kind of like the Derrick Henrys and Saquons, where they're really making those offenses go. Right. I think that's going to be the thing that helps them get back on track when it comes to the values in their contracts. But do I think that it's going to trend in a way where they're making, upwards of like receiver money? No, I think you're a long way from anything like that happening.
And let's do the simple math on that. You got to think, in my opinion, at least, that the quarterback position, although I do believe that, they should be the highest paid person because they're the general of the team. But these $70 million, especially with the cap threshold where it is, and the fact that they take up a third or maybe a little bit more of a third of that money, and then you got receivers, offensive linemen, linebackers, whatever, take up a lot of big chunks. It almost forces the running backs into a position to get paid where they're paid. Here he is. Now, batting the cleanup position, we got Popstar, number 35, Brad Price.
Yeah. And I do tend to agree with you a little bit here, Joe. I don't think Saquon necessarily has the type of year that he had last year. I mean, that was a career type of year, right? That being said, that team is set up in a way he absolutely could have a year like last year, because you're looking at the best offensive line in the league. What helps your running back more than anything? A great offensive line. So if you are a Seattle fan, right? We had a league MVP as a running back in Shaun Alexander. And everybody's like, Alexander was amazing. What they never talk about is the fact that they had the best left side of an offensive line ever constructed.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Sure.
In Jones and Hutchison. So anytime he was out and you had Maurice Morris, who was an undersized back, right? He had huge games too, because you could drive a tank through the holes that they were creating. Soon as we lost that offensive line, Alexander played one more year here, wasn't good. He goes off to Washington, wasn't good. Like, he benefited because he was a finesse runner on huge openings. I'm not saying that Saquon is a finesse runner necessarily. I'm just saying that if you have an offensive line that dominates the win rate, your running back benefits, because if you aren't getting hit at the line of scrimmage by, 6'5" Samoan dudes, you're getting at the second level for your first contact against a 250-pound linebacker, or now, because they're in coverage all the time, like a 235 linebacker, your success rate goes way higher as a running back. So do I think he has as good of a year? Probably not, just because he was on pace for a historic year. At the same time, that offensive line is still together, and he absolutely could.
Yeah, I just think that running back position is just, I just feel like they're, it's with the cap, it's just like they're just kind of stuck where they are a little bit.
Yep.
Well,
no, and Bobby, that's actually my point, is without the offensive line, you're getting hit by the big uglies up front.
Oh, yeah.
You don't make it through the season. We've had that for years here in Seattle. In fact, we haven't had a starting running back since 2014 not hit IR. That's a crazy stat when you figure it is going into 2025 season here. And that is all because we haven't had an offensive line that was worth anything. So our guys are getting hit up front as opposed to having second level guys, because your running back isn't a 6'5" monster running through there, right?
Not anymore. Not since the days of Jerome Bettis.
Well, and a lot of those guys were fullbacks anyway. They weren't they weren't halfbacks. But the big thing here is you don't have the size and the weight. So when you're getting hit every play against guys your same size, it's you survive those hits a lot better. Like for me, former corner, when I was going up against a receiver or even a running back, I can tell you that hit felt a lot different than a pulling guard coming and blowing my helmet off my head. So,
but why do we not see teams? Let's just take maybe even the Bengals just as one example, right? They haven't really put a lot of money in that defensive line. They put a little bit, but not a whole lot in the offensive line. I mean, why are teams not beefing up more on those two lines first, and then start putting the money in your skill positions?
Yeah, I mean, it just, some of it has to do with when contracts come up and guys you're trying to keep. But yeah, I mean, it's very rare to have the exact scenario that you want, right? Like you want a rookie quarterback to be balling out while you're not paying him. And then maybe you pay for some high-end defensive guys and you have a rookie corner that's showing out. And I mean, you need that blend, but you don't always get the blend that way. Sometimes it's you're paying top dollar for a quarterback and you have a receiver that is making big money and you got a bunch of rookie pieces on defense that you hope show out. The finances go the same, but the layout's not the same. So it's a lot of it has some luck along with it. Like you're always betting on your ability to hit home runs in the draft room. And we all know that's not always how that works out.
I just feel like a lot of these teams, they got Rolls-Royce engines and they got Buick LeSabre cars. You know,
I mean,
what does the engine do for you?
The LeSabre will still get you there. Like, you can't hate on it. I mean, that's the Trent Dilfer Super Bowl win, right? Like you can get there. It's not pretty, but you can get there. Yeah. And I mean, I'm hoping with the new additions to the offensive line that we don't have Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet getting hit behind the line of scrimmage as their first point of contact. So if we can get it more like what you're seeing out of the Eagles, where their first point of contact is further down the field, I think they stay healthy. It's the fact that they keep getting hit behind the line of scrimmage is why these guys keep getting hurt. So let's see. There was another question up here that I wanted to. Because Bobby's still here. So congrats on Shedeur. He plays well. Sorry, I got a sneeze. It's like hanging out. So that explains some of what I was actually going to ask you about, because they were talking about after the win, right? He had a good game. He looked sharp out there. They were talking about increasing his reps in practice, and then today they didn't have him participate at all in 7-on-7, 11-on-11. All the other quarterbacks got reps. So it kind of went against everything they said they were going to do. Not that that's unheard of from coaching staffs, right? But if he tweaked an oblique, then that makes a lot more sense.
I hate to see that, because he's right at that cusp, I think, of really wanting to show them what he can do, and then this happens, and then he's got to take a setback, and then hopefully try to do it again.
I mean, to be fair, he's getting the same setback everybody else has had, though. Pickett was hurt.
Oh yeah,
Real was hurt. The only guy that hasn't gotten hurt was Flacco, which is hilarious, but only because he's not, he's not really playing. So there's that. That being said, Bobby, since you're here, which two quarterbacks do not make this roster? Obviously, Deshaun is not an option this year anyway. I mean, I know technically week 15 maybe, but you're probably going to carry 3 of the 5 remaining. Which 3 do you have? Yeah, there we go.
What I'm curious is, just real quick on Deshaun, super quick. You know that when his contract is I think he's done, right? He's done in Cleveland.
I don't think he makes it through it. I think their restructure was so that they can just move off him, and
okay,
20 million or whatever it is less of a hit, especially if they end up moving forward with one of these rookies. They can just eat his contract and move on from him.
So what do you think? Do you think his career in the NFL is done, or do you think somebody will take a flyer on him?
Well, of course he hasn't got hurt this year. He's still hurt.
I saw that too. I was like, maybe I read that wrong, but okay. But what do you think? I mean, do you think somebody's going to take a flyer on him? Obviously, to be probably for a league minimum or something crazy, but
see. Yeah, Flacco week 1 starter. They've shown that. Yeah, Deshaun's career over for sure. You're going to carry 4. That's a surprise. That would be interesting. Pickett traded to Miami. They don't need a quarterback. They have Hewers, Zach Wilson.
Yeah, they got plenty of that.
And Tua, they don't need anybody. And
maybe the Titans could the Titans use a backup quarterback to Cam Ward in case whatever?
I mean, maybe, right?
Maybe even New Orleans could they use somebody over there?
Browns hate.
Yeah, it's Browns. No doubt.
That's fair. Well, is he though? See, that's the thing. Is he came from the Jets. And what have we seen out of Jets now? There is a proven track record now.
Yeah, there is.
You have Geno, bad with the Jets, bad at his next stop, but learning, resurrects his career. Sam Darnold, bad with the Jets, bad with Carolina, has an overnighter with San Fran, goes to the Vikings, resurrects his career. So this is the third stop for Zach Wilson. Does he wipe off the stink from the Jets and actually play decent football? It's entirely possible. And I would have taken a flyer on him too, based on the track record that we've just watched with former high draft picks from the Jets. I honestly didn't see their game, at least not yet. So I have NFL Plus, right? So I watch them all, but I haven't gone through all of the games yet. Yeah, I agree with this, Bobby. If he can, and I didn't even think that he would be necessarily the guy that leaves. I do kind of feel more like they're going to wait till the end to try and trade somebody that has the best stock. And I don't know that anybody's necessarily safe. The only thing I know for sure is because it's the Browns, just to throw some Brown hate out there, I guess, is whoever they let go is going to ball out wherever else they go. And it's just because you guys have that jersey with 45 names on it, it seems like life would make that happen.
Yeah. I'll tell you, he was talking about Caleb Scott what do we think about him over in Chicago? I mean, right now, it's too early to tell with him, right? He ain't played his first game yet, but the way he's looked right now in training camp, there would be a little mild level of concern over there, I would think, especially since he wasn't hitting those targets that they had out there with the trash cans or whatever, and he was overthrowing them.
Sure.
Yeah, there's got to be a mild level of concern.
Oh, there's no question. And the thing is when you're looking at the guys that are on your roster there, Bobby, is, you have Pickett. You guys gave up a third and a pick and a player, right? Gabriel was a third. So when you're thinking of cutting, like throwing away third rounders is tough, right? So I do think that Shedeur has I understand Shedeur was a fifth, but Gabriel wasn't. And Pickett was a third and a fifth, right? It was like a trade, or
Gabriel was third and Pickett, Pickett. I think
Pickett. I thought Pickett was a third, a player, and they got a fifth, or it was something like that. Oh, it was just a fifth for Pickett. Oh, okay. So Pickett's the odd man out then. Like this is actually less of a conversation than I thought. I thought he was a third. Okay, so it's fifth in DTR. Okay. So in that scenario, Pickett is the odd man out.
I think it's funny. They said Browns got too many quarterbacks, but it just seems like, with the exception of Huntley and Flacco, the rest of them are hurt on some level.
Well, so the thing is Flacco you're keeping because you need an adult in the room. Everybody else is a rookie, and Pickett I even kind of still view as a rookie, really.
I do too. I agree.
And then, now you have Huntley, but Huntley is just to get him through the preseason. He's not making this roster, right? They basically picked him up because they had so many guys hurt, and they weren't going to put Flacco in the preseason, right? So they're like, okay, Shedeur is going to have to play this. We got to get him a backup because we don't want to put Flacco out there with Pickett and Gabriel not available. So that's kind of the way how I viewed that from the outside. I could be wrong, but that's how I viewed it. And there's no doubt in my mind that the Saints or, a team that's down like that would kick the tires.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. That's what I was saying. The Saints. I think the Saints could use somebody to back up Show. Is it who's on there? I know it's Show, but what other quarterbacks are over there in New Orleans outside of Show?
I don't remember offhand, and unfortunately, we are up against it.
Yeah, we are. Next time, find out that.
Yeah,
question.
That's right. but yeah, thanks for everybody tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe, especially you guys that tune in on Pag's Facebook, just so that you catch our show when he's not here. But oh yeah, there you go, Spencer Rattler. I forgot he was there. So that being said, like, subscribe, anywhere else you're watching, stay tuned for that. And otherwise, we are going to get out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow, except Jay. Take it easy, everybody.